The time is 8:58. For the sake of this recording, Harlow, 8:58.
Anybody else want to test their levels before we start? VK3FTZD.
I'll be running Mode A tonight, and I'll continue to run it until such time as Stan finds that he can't decode. If Stan can't decode, I'll go back to Mode B.
What is the difference, Chris? Is it error rate or what's
There's less information redundancy in the signal, so that errors are less tolerated. So if you've got a computer which has a interface that introduces distortion errors, or a computer that's very slow and can't handle the information stream terribly well, you're going to run into trouble with Mode A but not Mode B.
Okay, yeah, because I've always ran Mode B. What should I be at? Mode B, 2.4, error high fix, or error fix high, QAM 16, lead in 24, is that right?
If what I'm aiming at is getting the maximum possible picture quality in the minimum possible time, and that's what Mode A does. Compared to Mode B, it cuts your transmission time by about 2/3, and then if you go to RS1 it cuts it down a bit more, and if you cut down your error correction it cuts it a bit more, and if you go to QAM 64 it cuts it a bit more. And all of those things tend to be not tolerated by ionospheric paths, but on VHF you can get away with it.
Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah. I might have a bit of play around with it during the night if we're getting successful decodes and everything.
Yeah, if I get good sig to noise, I always find that Mode A, I can send big pictures with a lot of detail and not too much of that, you know, when you send a picture of a grassy paddock and the grass comes out looking like it's a sheet of plastic.
Precisely. Okay, are we ready?
Shall I do the opening announcement?
You can, Chris. You can run.
Okay, it's 9 PM Thursday, local time. You're tuned to the EASYPAL digital slow scan net on VK3RML. And this is a sanctioned activity of the repeater owner-operator, which is Amateur Radio Vic, has been on this repeater for the last 10 odd years, since I think 2009, the end of 2009 were the first EASYPAL nets here. We run usually to 11 PM, and anybody who's equipped with EasyPower, which is a freeware program, devised actually originally by a VK4, the late Eric Sundstrup VK4 AES. You can download the EasyPal from the net and get pictures that that make normal analog slow scan look like a very poor small thumbnail. It's basically a digital transfer program. Either the picture is there with no noise or it's not there at all. So feel free to join us. And speaking of that, let's see if anybody calls in. We've got Terry, VK3FTZD. Do we have any other call-ins? VK3 Alpha Mike Lima, standing by.
VK3FMLD, sitting by.
We've got 3 FMLD, we've got 3 BOT. Hi Stan, hi Chris. Did we hear a third station there? We had a bit of a pile-up. So people other than FMLD and BOT. Any other call-ins?
VK3FTZD, listening only.
Oh, you poor beggar. Yeah, I saw the photos. I should explain for the others. Tim 3FTZD, who's normally a participant on this net, was rear-ended rather severely by another car. and the radio that he normally uses, which I think is an Alinco, was jolted out of the car so hard it went through the back window onto the road, and the other car ran over it. So needless to say, Tim is a little bit off the air at the moment, except for just voice transmitting. I think that'd be a good summary, wouldn't it, Tim? Anything to add? VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Yeah, currently. It's actually a Simcoe SRM 9000. Not exactly a cheap brick, I should say. But it seems to be working at the moment. The power meter's saying exactly 10 watts. And if you can hear me, that's a bonus. I'm currently using a different microphone to normal. I'm just using one of the 20 plus fist mic on my normal radio. I'm still trying to set up everything for my my interface box. So at the moment I'm not even receiving, only just listening at the moment until a bit later on.
Okay, Tim. I'll cross your fingers. I can't hear you on input. I could hear you on input on the old radio, but not now. Do we have any other call-ins for the EasyPal net? VK3 Alpha Mike Lima, standing by.
VK3 Bravo Mike X-ray, Terry.
Adam, VK3FAFT. I hope you're okay there, Tim.
Yep. Thanks, Adam. Are you actually participating in the EasyPal, or are you just listening, Adam? VK3FAFP, VK3AML.
Just listening. And I heard what you just said. Yeah, Tim was in a car accident. I hope you're okay there, Tim.
Yeah, I'm fine there, Adam. Thanks for that. Now, what happened was in one of the many trips that we've been doing, I went, okay, I'll use this one to take all the radio gear across for tonight's net. This was yesterday, and a bunch of other bits of radio gear and whatnot, so that they're over here because we were planning on staying the night here, and we're doing the big move on the weekend. And yeah, just around the corner from the house, got rear-ended pretty badly, and lots of my radio gear and some other bits and pieces landed on the ground. And this radio at the moment, I'm probably quite lucky that it was inside the rack mount case, or the rack case, because it was underneath her tyre. So yeah, fun. She hit pretty hard. There was enough force in how hard the car behind me hit to push me into the back end of the car in front, and let's just say that our second car is now a compact micro. It's crushed both ends, so it's fun. Back to net control there, Chris. VK3 AML, VK3 FTZD.
Yeah, sorry to hear about all of that. Hopefully your insurance, or the other guy's insurance, third party, will cover you. Usually a rear end situation is the guy that rear ends you is the responsible party. Sounds like he's damaged two cars. So we have, it was at VK3BOX, was that Terry?
VK3 BMX, Bravo Mike X-ray, BMX Terry, down in Seaford.
No worries, Terry. I'm sort of wearing headphones, monitoring my own stuff, so listening to the monitor speakers a bit muffled through all of this. VK3BMX, good. Do we have any other call-ins? VK3 AML. Okay, sounds like we're heading off. Terry, 3FTJS, are you ready to send a picture as you're first on the list, VK3 AML?
There you go, Chris. Here we go. This is a new radio that I made some inquiries about today. Yeah, it'll be getting picked up in the next couple of weeks. I'll just send it through now, guys. Here we go.
Okay, that's 16 dB here, Terry. There's less bass in that one than there was in the other. It tapers off on the left-hand side. But yeah, it looks like a very interesting sort of a radio, that one. And 2 VFOs, obviously. And touch screen by the looks. Anyway, I'll go around the loop. Chris, VK3 FMLD, did you resolve a picture VK3 AML?
3 AML, VK3 FMLD, full resolve at 10 dB here.
Okay, Terry, sounds like you're on the right track. VK3 BOT, did you manage to resolve that, Stan, VK3 AML?
File OK, 11 dB, file OK, VK3 BOT. Nice looking radio. Touchscreen, interesting. What next will I think of? You just think and it'll work?
I don't suppose... okay, thanks, Stan. FTZD, I don't suppose you had the radio hooked up to a computer in any way, VK3 AML?
Yeah. Can send pictures, stuff like that. Does YZ, can turn into a node. Yeah, interesting concept. It's not cheap, but yeah, what is these days.
Sorry, I think I doubled with you there. Yeah, it's a nice radio. I'll just go around to 3BMX. Terry, how did you go on that VK3 AML?
Yeah, 12 dB and 100%, and yeah, I've got one of those radios, and yeah, magic little radio. Just if you're going to program it off the computer, make sure you read the radio first. That's a trick I learned, and then edit that file. But magic radio.
Okay, so Terry, description?
It's the new Yaesu. Oh, it's the last Yaesu FTM 400. It was one of the, yeah, it's a top of the line Yaesu Fusion radio. At the moment, the 300's coming out, but they've got delays with it. It's not coming to August, so I decided to go for this one. This one's $100 more. Yeah, the other one hasn't got touchscreen and stuff. This has got touchscreen. It's got a heap of memories. I think it's about 100 odd megs, or 108 megs up to 900 megs in receive. Yeah, quite a good radio. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good reports about them. So, yeah, that's my new little purchase. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. By the way, if you want to shorten your transmit time a bit, if you hover the cursor over QAM, and you're currently transmitting 16 subcarriers, if you can click on that until it produces 64 subcarriers, you'll find your transmit time goes down. Can't always do that on HF, but on VHF it should be okay. QSL?
You received that, Chris. VK3 AML in the group, VK3FTZD returning. Not a problem. Okay. Yeah, we can go around the rest of the group, I suppose, and see who's got the picture or whatever.
Okay, Chris, VK3FMLD, your second rank. Do you have a picture ready for us, VK3AML?
AML, VK3FMLD, yes, I have an ancient Japanese proverb for you to go with Yaesu radios. The drop of the repeater, I'll send it on to you.
Okay, see how we went with that.
I'm not sure that I like being called what that calls me, but yeah, I get it. Terry, did you get that one? VK3FTJS. Incidentally, I got that at 19 dB, so very good sig to noise, Chris. Back to you, Terry, for comment. VK3FTJS, VK3AML.
Aren't we all? Yeah, 73's Chris, perfect, yeah. It's 12 dB. It's not a problem at all.
Great stuff. Where do you dig this stuff up from? I could have made a very filthy joke about the last radio being a remote head job, but I won't go there. VK3BOT. How did you get that one?
11 dB at VK3BOT file okay, and I have been called that many, many times.
I imagine the railway would not be backward in coming forward in that respect. Oh dear. VK3BMX, Terry, how did you go? VK3AML, and did you tilt your head to the right?
That I did. 11 dB and 100%, so yeah, I got that.
Good stuff. It sounds like you're on the right track, Chris. Your output's been a little ropey in past weeks, but whatever you've done in terms of refining levels or whatever, it's really worked well. So Stan, I think it's up to you. VK3BOT for a transmission, VK3AML.
Well, looks like we're going to be going around awfully quick tonight unless we get some more starters, Chris. Yeah, righto. At the drop of the repeater, VK3BOT will send his first image for the evening. How's that for getting it right?
Yep, got it. And that probably would happen too. Thanks, Stan. And got it in mode A beautifully, 20 dB. Nice short transmission. Got it by progressive as well. And like most progressives, it sort of hovers there looking all spotty for about 10 seconds at the end before it resolves. How did you go, Terry? VK3FTJS, VK3AML.
Yes, and not a problem. Oh, he got ripped off. 15 dB, Chris. Yeah.
Okay. Oh dear, dear, dear. And I can't imagine what the third word would have been after what the... So, VK3FMLD, how did you go with Stan's transmission?
7 dB, but unfortunately 7 remaining segments, so failed decode.
Can you send a BSR?
Unfortunately, I'm still transmitting from one PC and receiving from the other, so that's not going to be possible tonight.
Like to do it again, Stan? It was quite short. Okay, Chris, how'd you go? VK3FMLD, VK3AML.
61 segments resolved, but I've got no idea what it is because it's just spots. So yeah, it resolved, but I have a vague impression of it, maybe a cartoon or some sort of a cat, but that's about all.
Oh dear, sounds like the computer's having trouble resolving a progressive. Anyway, I think we'd better move on. VK3BMX, Terry at Seaford. Or perhaps 3FTZD. Are you going to be resolving anything off the radio? Tim, VK3AML.
Yeah, VK3AML, VK3FTZD. I think I've just about got a setup here. I was getting a lock on VK3BOT for a bit there, and I was fiddling around with levels trying to get that quite right. And it started sitting at 12 dB, and you've got to also remember my antenna is sitting maybe about 1.5 feet off the ground, so that's probably also having an issue with everything else. So I think it's working. I didn't even bring the computer in. That was the trip today. The trip today was supposed to be 2 cars, so I'm using the laptop, the work laptop, which has one audio plug on it, and I'm going to try to work out the 3 RCA cable to get that up and running. So a couple more rounds and I might be able to even transmit, we'll see.
No worries, I admire your fortitude, particularly in a time when you probably have a bit of whiplash of the neck and all that from that sort of a rear end hit. So VK3BMX, Terry, did you succeed with that VK3AML?
Yeah, certainly did, 100% and 14 dB.
Okay, I must commend Stan on the brevity of the transmission. I think that was 45 seconds total. Amazing, Stan. VK3BOT for comment, VK3AML.
I actually think it was 43, but what I've done now is that I've now put it to mode B, because that may help some people, because we can still do the short transmission, but instead of being in mode A, we'll make it mode B. And we'll see how the next one goes when it comes up. So there we are. But yeah, it's amazing what you can do, all because we're having problems with it, and it, as you know, Chris, it was breaking up. But the other thing that I did, I have no idea what the tune button does, but at any rate, a couple of weeks ago I hit the tune button, and I've noticed since then I've had no further problems. So whether that did something, I have no idea. All I know, Chris, is it works. Back to you. VK3AML, VK3BOT with the group.
Yeah, sometimes these things are inexplicable. Anyway, I think it's round to me for my first image of the night, 71 seconds. I've been working on early recordings that I have on digital file here that I've never bothered to clean up and put up on net, and I managed to find a photograph of one actually being recorded. The then Prime Minister Stanley Bruce making a record at Columbia Records in September 1929. Nice microphone, as you will see. VK3AML with an EasyPal pick at the drop of the repeater, if he gets his levels right. Okay, Terry, how did you go? VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Yeah, 20 dB, Chris, all well, and I just need to do a restart, I think. Terry's after you, and yeah, I did get the picture full decode.
Good-o. I wish I had that microphone, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris, VK3FMLD, how did you go? VK3AML.
AML, VK3FMLD, 8 dB, full decode, and yeah, I wouldn't mind having that microphone sitting on my desk at the moment.
Nice Western Electric double button carbon. They were flat to 7 kilohertz, but their sig to noise wasn't terrific. VK3BOT, how did you go, Stan? VK3AML.
Well, I guess this kind of disproves your theory, doesn't it? We've got 17 dB at VK3BOT. We have received in mode A, 2.4, HI 64, 142 segments, 142 OK segments, position 142, OK remaining segments. Now, the other week, I think I had a bit of a problem with one of these, didn't I?
Yeah, with mode A. What I was going to do, I don't know whether you heard the discussion before we started, was run mode A, see if you can get it. If you can, I'll persist with it because it, you know, cuts the transmission time by about a third. And if you couldn't get it, I'd revert to mode B and do a slightly longer transmission. QSL?
Well, I can tell you now that that's come through perfectly, Chris. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so whether it's me hitting that tune button or not, I don't know. I've got the other computer here. It's not set up yet. I've been a bit under the weather the last week or so, and so I haven't gotten it going. It's ready to go, and we know that it will fire. I just haven't got EasyPal on it. But no, there's nothing wrong with that picture, mate. That's fine. And 17 dB, that's up there with one of the best I think that I've received. Yeah, back to you, Chris. VK3BOT said that.
Okay, Stan, we'll stick with mode A in that case. Any progress, Terry? Tim, VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
No, not at the moment. For some reason, the computer's not finding the COM port. It's in Device Manager, but EasyPal's not accepting it. This is for the PTT signal, and yeah, just trying to figure that out. I seem to have levels okay for receiving. I did have to restart EasyPal during your last transmission, so unfortunately I did not get that one.
Okay, if we keep on spinning around the group, eventually you'll get something. VK3BMX, Terry, did you do okay?
Yeah, certainly did, Chris. 18 dB and full segment, so not a problem.
Good stuff. Anyway, it's back to the top. Terry, gosh, it's going to be a lightning series of transmissions this time. I think we normally get through about 12. We've already got through 6, and we've in 1.5 hour. VK3FTZD, yours next.
Is Terry BMX sending or not?
Oh, sorry, Terry. Terry, are you sending one?
I'll have a go. It's taken me 3 or 4 weeks. I'm using one of the new ICOM 9700s. It's taken a bit of searching to find out how to get EasyPal to work with that, but I finally got it working on Saturday, so this will be blind leading the blind to see whether it does. It sounds okay listening on another radio, but I've got one in there, so yeah, I can give it a go there, Chris, if you like.
Away you go.
Sounds like there was nothing coming through that time.
No, you had it going for about 10 seconds and we got up to 14 dB and it was heading for something higher than that.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear any. So it was transmitting okay, was it, Chris?
Yeah, perfectly okay here.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I'll start again.
Gosh, that was well timed. 15 dB and a locomotive under a shelter somewhere. I'll just check with the others. VK3FTZD, how'd you go? VK3AML.
12 dB, yeah, full decode. It looks familiar. I'm not sure where it is, but...
Okay, we'll move around. FMLD, did you do okay?
Yep, full decode, 4 dB here.
4 dB and you got a decode?
It,
Holy moly. Miracle. VK3BOT, how'd you do?
Yeah, 10 dB over here, while okay, and full decode. Did what it's supposed to do.
Okay, 3FTZD, have you got to the point of decoding yet?
110 segments, 12 dB, but no decode. I didn't have progressive on at the time, so that could have been it. But unfortunately, no decode for me.
Well, you did get 110 segments, and that's all that was transmitted. So, 3BMX, Terry, a commentary on that particular photo.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Well, that's not too bad for the first one sent. Yeah, that was 2 years ago in Jefferson, Georgia, in the States. Yeah, I've just sort of picked a couple of photos. I sort of haven't got anything too good as yet, but yeah, no, it was in Jefferson, Georgia. Just out wandering around some of the parks and things over there. So yeah, it was just ones that are on file. Yeah, that's good. I haven't fiddled with anything. I haven't fiddled. It's just EasyPal out of the box installed, and as I said, I finally got the ICOM 9700 to. I could get it to key, but it took me 3 weeks to get audio, and I finally found the right menu within the menu to tick to put in the box. So I'm happy with that. Chris, over.
Yeah, congratulations, and don't feel like a fool because you've been in that position. It took me, with one of my radios here, a month to work out how to program the thing. I mean, menu under menu under menu. Some of these things are so non-intuitive. They're designed to produce one's fist hammering very heavily on the top of the thing before you actually get the thing working. But yeah, so where did you say that train was?
Jefferson, Georgia, Atlanta, in the States. And yeah, and the other thing was, with a bit of searching on Google, how to get the 9700 to work with EasyPal, setting up the switching codes with the FFE equals the AE2 minus 0111. There was about 6 lines I had to enter in there with an EasyPal to get it to work as well. But yeah, no, it was in Jefferson, Georgia, Atlanta, over.
Yeah, I can see some sort of piston rods and stuff that I'm not familiar with in any Australian practice. I know they used to run their own race over there in terms of design, compared to us, we tended to follow Britain and Europe far more. Okay, it's round to you, Terry, for the next photo. VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Hey, I'm not responsible. That's all I'm saying. Okay, here we go with the pig.
Well, I got no lock on that, so I think the level was a bit high. How did you go, Chris? VK3FMLD, VK3AML.
AML, VK3, FMLD, I think you're right. I played around with the volume control on this and couldn't get a lock on it.
I don't think there's anything wrong your end. Would you like to try it again, Terry, with the level dropped a bit?
Yeah, I'll go again, guys. I did actually up the level. I thought before with the decodes being so low, I thought I might have to bring the levels up, but yeah, I'll leave it at that, where it was originally. Okay, I'll go again.
I think Stan's going to like that one. That's a good one. How did you go this time, Chris? I got that at 18 dB. VK3FMLD, so I don't think you'd have any trouble, Chris. VK3AML.
3AML, VK3FMLD, no problems at all. I thought I wasn't going to get a resolution on that because I had a whole pile of segments missing, and then all of a sudden it just went bang and appeared on the screen. Yeah, not too foul at all, I'd have to say.
Just the jokes are a bit foul. Stan, VK3BOT, how did you do?
All right, now I've picked myself off the floor. That's probably one of the better ones, actually. I don't mind that. It's better than a lot of mine. I don't know where else you got it from, but it's a good one. Yeah, 13 dB over here and full decode. No worries with that one at all, Chris.
Good stuff. VK3FTZD, any luck yet? VK3AML.
Yeah, VK3AML, VK3FTZD, they come through at 16 dB, but for some reason the software keeps asking, how do I wish to open the file? And no matter what I open it in, it just is a blank file. So I don't know what's going on there. Something really weird going on with this laptop. Back to you.
Okay, here's a thought. My memory is that for this EasyPal to work properly, you also have to download IRFANView, IRFANVIEW, for that to interpret JPEG 2 files. Could that be the problem?
Oh, I've never had to do that before, actually, and I think it might even be installed on this laptop because I needed it to resize some images at some stage for email. So, I don't think it's that. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? It gets a lock and everything, but then comes up saying, how do you wish to open the file? And, yeah, I don't know. But it's a blank file, even if I open it up in Notepad++, it's just a blank file. Back to you.
Yeah, it's RS3. I don't know whether that would have an effect, but I don't think you have to download IRFANView now, but certainly with previous versions of EasyPal, having IRFANView was a necessary prerequisite. It was actually on the instruction manual. I don't think it is anymore. VK3BMX, Terry, how did you go with the chicken walking like a cat on a hot tin roof? Sorry to mix metaphors. VK3BMX, VK3AML.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. Yeah, 15 dB and 100%.
Okay, then it's on to Chris, VK3FMLD. What do you have for us, Chris?
AML, the group VK3FMLD. For those of us who listen to VK3REC at various times, you'll get a chuckle out of this one. There we go. It should be, of course, a little bit of a chuckle in some people's heads. Radio Shacks, VK3 FMLD standing by.
I've actually struck people like that on the 27.355 frequency. VK3FTZD. How did you go, Terry? VK3AML.
That'd be about right, but he's missing the parrot on his shoulder.
Wow. Yeah, 19 dB here, by the way. How did you get it, Terry?
12 dB, full decode, yeah. I like that.
I think I might keep that one. VK3BOT, Stan, how did you get it?
Yeah, 11 dB at VK3BOT, file okay. And, yeah, I don't go on RSC anymore because of all the crap that's on there. Yeah, it's not good, is it?
Yeah, REC on 2 and RSE on 70 seem to get the majority of that sort of stuff going on for some strange reason. Who knows? VK3FTZD, how did you go? Or still having that trouble decoding? VK3AML.
I got a decode on that. 16 dB. No call signs, eh? Funny. Back to you.
Yeah, N0UJR, I've looked up his cartoons on the net, and he's one of the very few that's actually doing amateur radio cartoons that are somewhat hilarious. VK3BMX, Terry, how did you do? VK3AML.
Yeah, 14 dB and 100%, and yes, 2 a T, that one, that's for sure.
I don't know about sitting in the nutty. I've never struck a CBer that does that. But then I wouldn't associate with that sort of person. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. Moving right along. VK3BOT, have you got one for us? VK3AML.
Yeah, I certainly have. VK3BOT at the drop of the repeater will make a horrible noise, I think.
That's an interesting little water wheel. 22 dB, very, very good, Terry. Stan. How did you go, Terry? VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Yeah, 20 dB. Yeah, I don't know what Stan's done, but his signal's cleaned right up. He's come right up in dB. Yeah.
Certainly has here too. Good on you, Stan. It's getting better. Yeah. Okay. 3FTZD. Did you make anything of that? VK3AML.
Yeah, I got a full decode on that one there, Chris. 18 dB, that's the top of the night for me. Very nice there, Stan. Back to you, Chris. VK3AML, VK3FTZD.
And Chris 3FMLD, did you get that?
Decode 11 dB in lovely downtown Lilydale.
Yeah, we'll get Stan's story on this in a moment, but first, the 3BMX Terry, all okay?
Yeah, 19 dB and full decode.
Okay, Stan, an explanation of where and how and why. Looks interesting. Back to you. We all got it. VK3AML. You there, Stan?
Better? Oh yeah, that's better. Isn't it marvellous what happens when you plug a microphone in properly? Tim, VK3FTZD, what are you opening the pictures up in before I get waffle?
You there, Tim?
Obviously he's not. This is at Kirkskiln. Not very far. It's just up the other side of Gembrook. And there used to be a water wheel up there. I don't know what it powered and I don't know what it did, but it's there. And yeah, that's the picture of it. There is another picture to come. Whether we'll get to do that one tonight, I'm not sure. But anyway, that's the water wheel. It's been there since Adam was in diapers, however long ago that was. VK3AML, VK3BOT.
VK3FTZD, sorry, what did I miss? I was opening the garage door and it was sort of cutting in and out.
Yeah, what are you opening the pictures up in?
Just EasyPal. They just finally started resolving.
Oh, very good. Very good. Okay, back to you, Chris.
Yeah, it's nice. Kirkskiln. I'll have to find out more about that place. It looks like it's got a lot of mechanism sitting out in the bush.
The next image, if we get that far, will tell you a lot. There used to be a charcoal factory up there where they used to make charcoal for gas-fired motor cars. And the big chimney and everything else is still all there. You used to go up to Gembrook and you don't go into Gembrook, you just keep going straight out and eventually you'll get there down a gravel road and around a corner and over a hill and down a valley and what have you, about 7 kilometres out. And yeah, this is there. The charcoal kiln, of course, is not working, but it's still all there, and there's a lot of old machinery. There's a bit of a historical thing out there. There's a whole group out there dedicated to keeping it all alive. And once every year they have I think it's in March, something like that. Anyway, they have the Friends of the Kirkskiln weekend, and they all go out there and do their thing. Yeah, back to you, Chris. VK3BOT said that lot.
Yeah, good stuff. I know that Jim VK3AMN and Mr. Ridiculous Maximus VK3RM with VK3KID Club get out there quite often with the kids from the Sherbrooke School, I think, for some radio field day stuff. So it must have something going for it. I'll have to go out there and have a look myself one of these days. Perhaps I can persuade Prue to pack a picnic lunch and head out. It's kind of out in our direction, so it's just a matter of going straight up through Belgrave. Okay, I think it's my turn. Terry next after me. And what I'm going to do is I will transmit a document file. And this should make your computer fire up the document reader and actually preserve the document. What the document is a full guide to EasyPal that a chap in, I think, America has put together, and it may be worth saving into your document list. There are a lot of facilities in EasyPal that are very rarely used that may come in handy for you as time goes on. Anyway, I'll transmit that now on the drop of the repeater. VK3 Alpha Mike Lima with an EasyPal document transmission. Okay, how did that go, Terry? VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Yep, certainly come through at 20 dB, Chris, all well, and yeah, perfect decode.
You got did the Microsoft Word document open?
Certainly did, opened on the desktop.
Ah, good. Okay, you got it. Chris, VK3FMLD, VK3AML, how'd you do?
dB, but I only got 65 segments, and I didn't start getting those until I turned the volume up a little bit on the radio, so I suspect your level might be a little lower than most other people's.
Okay, if we find anybody else on the list who didn't get it, well, I'll come back and do it again. VK3BOT, how did you do? VK3AML.
Well, it would have done. Come through at 16 dB, so that's very good. And there was 109 segments and 109 segments and 109 segments and okay remaining segments. But the problem is I haven't got... The only programs that are on this computer now, Chris, are ham radio related. And this is it. EasyPal is the only thing that's on this computer. So, if I had a document reader, it would have done it, but I haven't, so it didn't. There we be, VK3AML, VK3BOT. That was interesting, wasn't it?
You want to download OpenOffice. It's a freebie.
I would, but the problem is this computer's going to God. It's only here until I get the other computer running, and then I'll do it all on that one. So this is just here for EasyPal and nothing else.
Yeah, probably not worth it in that case. VK3FTZD, how did you do? VK3AML.
Yeah, Chris, I got that at 17 dB, so very nice, very nice. I'm about to change antenna to a higher elevated one and slightly more gain, so I'll see how I go for a little bit later on once I change that one, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, 17 dB, full decode, and it opened up in Office, no worries.
Okay, it looks like we've got a new resource that we can exploit. I'll have to search the internet for useful document files to send on this program, because obviously that's another extension of the activities here. VK3BMX, Terry, how did you go? VK3AML.
Yep, 18 dB, and on the low speed it opened Word and off it went. And it was good timing because I was about to ask you where any help files were, how to get some of these other things working, like the call sign at the start of the transmission and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully all that is explained in those documents. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, good. One of the reasons I've done it this way is, as you probably know, we paste up the weekly net on YouTube in what's called an unlisted clip, and then it goes onto the EasyPal website, so that anybody who couldn't actually be there tonight listening in, looking in, whatever you call it, can decode off the audio stream there if they so desire, but the YouTube clip is not accessible unless you have the key, and the key is only visible on the Facebook website to the membership of that Facebook page. So we still keep the net reasonably private between ourselves, if you know what I mean. So VK3BMX Terry, I think it's your turn. VK3AML.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I found the Facebook one, but you're saying another YouTube one, so alright, I'll have to find out more about that one next week. Alright, I'll drop her the key, I'll start sending the next one.
Yeah, I probably will have to send a BSR file for that. Just hang on a sec. How do I... I'll just send a BSR file. And I don't know. I'll circulate something. I think this will work. VK3AML with a BSR. I should first of all ask Terry if he got that, VK3AML.
I didn't, mate. It's 9 segments. It was like someone was pushing a button on him.
Okay, did you get it, Chris, VK3FMLD, VK3AML?
3 segments, and it was very, very noisy. There was lots of background hum and whatnot in it, and also in your BSR. So, I don't know, it's something funny going on there, I think.
Okay, situation is this. We have a decade dropping carriers. Would you like to close the net or continue or what? VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
And keep persevering with it.
Am I getting over the top?
You certainly are.
Okay. Oh, it's disappointing, but REC gets them. If some others do have them. Yeah, I'm sorry, Terry, but VK3BMX, but your transmission was broken by bursts of somebody dropping carriers over the top. VK3BMX, VK3AML.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you did that return bit, and I heard that you could hear the heterodyne, so I figured that's what it was. Yeah, bummer, but yeah, what do you do?
Well, I guess we persevere with those that can go over the top. So I'm sorry, Terry, that you're sufficiently far away. We'll come back to you on the next time round, I think. Hope that's okay. Terry, VK3FTZD, you hammer the repeater well enough. Why don't you do the next photo? VK3FTZD, VK3AML. Very apropos. How did you go, Chris? VK3FMLD, VK3AML.
AML, VK3FMLD. Yeah, no problems. Full decode and 13 dB here. I think that's my top one for the night.
Yeah, Terry, you're doing very well. Okay, VK3BOT, how did you go, Stan? VK3AML.
Yeah, dittos. What have we got here? 13 dB at VK3BOT, file okay. I don't think that about says it all. Yeah, that's about all it says. Yeah, it just needs a bit of bacon now. We're all good.
Yeah, as long as the bacon isn't fried. How about you, Tim, VK3FTZD, VK3AML?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not get a lock on that one. I don't know, something weird's going on. If I flick the interface over to PC, it completely grounds out the input line or the microphone line. So I think this is the odd wiring where there's what, 3 rings on the 3.5mm connector, and the first 2 being left and right. Or the tip being left and right, or tip and the next one being left and right, and the next one being usually it's the microphone, but sometimes they swap them around, so that's actually ground, and then the collar is microphone. So I think that might be what's going on here, and when I flick it over to PC, it shorts out the microphone input. So unfortunately, no decode on that, and by the time I realised it was too far, missing segments to decode, even a progressive on that one.
Okay, it's a bit of a pity. VK3BMX, Terry, did you receive it okay?
Certainly did, 14 dB and all okay. And just one quick question, if I may. I noticed Terry, must be a thing with Terry. I had the picture and it's still transmitted, or still transmitting for sort of 3 or 4 seconds after that. I heard you say something at the start of the net that you can change that. Was that something to do with the lead in or the quam time or something? You could drag that and change that, Chris, over.
Is that aimed at me? I'll answer if you like.
Yeah, that's a quam, Chris.
Yeah, the program transmits with redundancy. That is, if one part of the transmission is knocked out, within reason another part will contain the same information. So you're actually transmitting everything not quite twice, but more like 1.5 times, and it takes quite a bit of knocking out of the signal to get rid of the digital stream altogether. So what you'll find is, if you've got good signal noise, the picture will resolve. All of the segments will have come through before the actual transmission finishes. Is that what you mean, VK3BMX, VK3AML?
Yes, exactly, yes. You explained that 100%.
Yeah, goodo. It works on probabilities, basically. When you're on HF with ionospheric propagation, selective fade, signals dropping in and out, you have to work it on the basis of the likelihood of getting a full decode. So if the signal is poor and a lot of fades, you have to sort of tweak the program. One of the good things about this program is that it is tweakable once you get used to where all of the adjustments are. Much like any other computer program, it's not really automated, which makes it a bit of a challenge. It's much less cut and dried than analog slow scan, as you might have gathered. So round to FTJS. It's now your turn, Chris. VK3FMLD, VK3AML.
3AML in the group VK3FMLD. This is coming round with monotonous regularity. Okay, at the drop of the repeater, I shall send another piece of humour for you. If anybody's got the slightest interest in the football, Collingwood 5 goals 636 drew with Richmond 5 goals 636. So I suppose that's a tie. VK3FMLD.
Football. Never heard of it. Terry, VK3FTJS, how did you do?
Better than football. Yeah, 12 dB, and yeah, I like that. Yeah, I reckon the young kids that are today, mate, that's where they hide their brain, in that box that they look at all the time.
Yeah, when that kid went missing up in the high country, I thought, I wonder if he had an Xbox or something and just wandered off the road or whatever. It wasn't that a great thing that they found the kid so easily too. Took a couple of days, but considering the kid had an intellectual problem and no speech, it's you can imagine what the parents must have gone through. Great news that he was found. So, VK3BOT, Stan, I imagine you're laughing at that too. People have caught your disease. We're getting the religious cartoons. VK3BOT, VK3AML.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to convert people one way or the other. Actually, that is very good. I actually had to sit and look at that for a while. And, yeah, but I did eventually get it. By the way, 10 dB over here, lots and lots of dropouts. So I've got I've got 3 dropouts, but not enough to bother it, and we've got a full decode at the end of it, which is the main one. But yeah, no, that's very good. It's also very true. It's also very, very true. It has tragic consequences every now and then, Chris. Yeah, not always good. Yeah, back to you, VK3AML, VK3BOT.
Good. Tim, VK3FTZD. Will I ever get your names round the right way? VK3FTZD. How'd you do? VK3AML.
Yeah, no worries. Maybe when we all change call signs, might make things a bit easier. Get rid of those Fs. I got that at 17 dB. So very, very nice. Yes. Certainly a lot of people I know are like that. Maybe the woman who ran into the back of me was watching her phone instead of the traffic. We can always wonder that. But, back to you.
Yeah, I'm impressed that Chris is transmitting this from that little QYT rig. All of $120 worth or something, and it's performing very well, Chris. Is that the rig, VK3 FMLD, VK3AML?
It's doing a mighty job.
Yeah, you can say that again. Okay, VK3BMX. How did you do, VK3AML?
Yeah, no, good on that one. 8 dB and 26 remaining and failed decode.
I just wonder if I can resend this. Can I flip it from view to transmit? View. And can I send this? Can I copy and then paste, maybe? Paste? No? How on earth do I just... There is a way of doing this so that you can... Oh, I know. Here we go. Paste. Okay, stand by. I'll transmit it again. I'll do it with minimal time. Mode A. Okay, stand by. Okay, VK3BMX, did you get it that time?
I certainly did. Yeah, 17 dB from you and all okay. And yeah, 100%.
Okay, I fiddle-faddled about, but basically right-click on the received image, hit copy with the left button, then open up the TX window, right-click, open up paste, left-click, paste in, then transmit. I'm sure there must be a quicker way, but I don't know any other. Anyway, moving right on. FMLD. Stan, I think it's yours now. VK3BOT, VK3AML.
So, what happens if you replay RX?
That's what I forgot to do, Stan. Where is replay RX? Oh, I see. Silly man.
VK3 Bravo Oscar Tango at that drop of the repeater will make another horrible noise. Because he can.
Nice clear image. 22 dB too. Very, very good, Stan. How did you go, Terry? VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Yeah, very good. Some sort of refinery or burning of something, or...
I suspect this is the kiln of Kurth Kiln, but we'll hear about that in a minute. VK3FMLD, you get it okay?
Partial resolution at 21 segments, so that was pretty good. Full decode, full reception of the whole 82 segments and 13 dB.
Okay, VK3FTZD, how did you do? VK3AML.
Yeah, VK3AML, VK3FTZD. New top of the night, 19 dB from Stan. Nicely done.
Certainly is. And Terry, VK3BMX, you have luck?
Yes, 19 dB and 100% nice and clear.
Okay, Stan, an explanation?
Well, that is to the right of that picture as you look at your screen is a big shed you can just see. And to the right of that big shed is where the previous photo was taken of the water wheel. If you remember, we did the water wheel. Okay, so what you're looking there is the charcoal creator. Don't ask me how they did it. I've got no idea. It's all written up there if you'd like to go for a drive and have a look. But at any rate, that's what they produced the charcoal in, and then it was stuck into motor cars, and it was actually not very successful. It didn't quite. They had these monster great gas converters on cars, and it was all pretty horrible. But at any rate, they'd load that thing up, and out the bottom it'd come charcoal, timber in the top, and charcoal out the bottom. Yeah, so that's the actual kiln itself that they produced it in. Now, I think from memory, they have a Friends of the Kurth Kiln weekend once, and it's open to the public, and you can go out there and they'll rip you off money for food. It's pretty awful, but it all goes to a good cause, and so we all go home with a bellyache and an empty wallet. And we have a pretty good day. So yeah, that's what that's all about. That's part of it. Now, if you get out there, Chris, anybody in fact who is historically minded, there is a lot of very old machinery out there from the days when this thing was being produced and some other stuff. And that shed that you're looking at on the right, you can just sort of see part of the shed. Well, it's at the back of that shed is where that's all the machinery is. VK3AML Group, VK3BOT.
Sounds very interesting. I know there was a charcoal burning industry up the Mallee, I think. They used to start up a fire or something, and then they would bury the wood that was not quite burning, but it was being carbonised. They would bury it under sand or something and then dig it up a few days later, and that was quite an industry for a while. particularly during the Depression when people didn't have much other work. So very interesting. I will have to go up there. It looks you're becoming the local tourist agency, Stan. VK3FTZD, are you in a position to transmit yet?
I believe I am there, Chris. Just switch that back over to there, and yeah, I should be good to go. I'll just have to remember to flick that switch over, otherwise I won't be able to receive. Are you ready for an image?
Yep, far away.
Okay, too easy, too easy. This is VK3FTZD with an EasyPal image at the drop of the repeater. I have not tested levels or anything, so this could be scary.
No blank carrier as far as I can hear.
I was transmitting, just no audio.
Nothing. No, there was a transmission, but no audio.
Hang tight for 2 seconds. I just want to test something if I can.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Was that a bit better with more gain?
Blank carrier as far as I can see.
My TX level knobs turned all the way down. That will do it.
Try again. Give it again. Give it again, Tim. The end of that, I got a perfect lock, but the first half was so low I couldn't get anything.
No worries. I'll hit the transmit button again. It's good to hear the relay clicking inside it as it auto hits the TX. So cool. All right, I'll try again. I've just turned it up just a little bit more. We'll see how it goes.
Good day. Excellent 23 dB, but the first line, which is the setup for the joke, is buried underneath the ident for your EasyPal. So all we get is, baby, that's his tie, and I presume she means, is that Colonel Sanders' little body down the bottom? Back to you.
Oh no, sorry. It says, Daddy, why is his body so little?
Okay, now I get it. Okay. VK3FMLD, Chris, did you get that okay?
Fortunately, no. It was 8 dB here, but I only got 37 segments. I'll pick it up off the online when you post it tomorrow or Saturday or whenever you. No, I'm not going to say it. Whenever you put it online, so not to worry.
Yeah, that's almost as bad as me calling that transceiver that Terry posted a remote head job. And I'll leave that right alone too. VK3BOT, how did you go with that Colonel Sanders bit?
We're doing really well over here. 16 dB. I think that's about the best for the night. Actually, there might have been one 17 dB, but 16 dB at VK3BOT. File was okay, unlike some of the discussion.
Well, at least now you know what level to put it at, Tim. VK3BMX, how did you go, Terry? VK3AML.
Yep, all good. 18 dB, got it all, and thank goodness he explained what was hidden under the no call.
Oh boy, you can get foiled all sorts of ways, eh? Tim, it looks like you've got that transmitter set up pretty well. I'm getting 22, 23 dB, and I'm sure if you tweaked it further, you get it even better. So you might have been knocked off the air for a very short time, but you're back. VK3FTZD for comment. VK3AML.
Just a quick one, Chris. I got him at 20.
Yeah, good, eh?
Yeah, it's quite surprising that I'm getting into the repeater as well as I am then. I'm in Calcallo at the moment, so I'm not in Hoppers, my usual place that I normally transmit, and the antenna is actually upside down, magnetically mounted to the garage door mechanism, so it's still going up and down sort of thing, but it's going down rather than up, and yeah. Which I guess it's working. Later on I'll be getting a diamond base station antenna and mounting it on the roof. But for the time being, this one I thought would do okay for tonight to get into the repeater. Back to you there, Chris. VK3AML, VK3FTZD.
So is this actually your the day you're christening the missions from Calcallo, basically?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, Calcallo is where we built our house for those that are just tuning in to the story. So we built our own first home out here, out in the middle of Whoop Whoop, where the closest shop is a 20-minute drive. That's not too bad. I wouldn't say closest shop. Closest supermarket is like a 20-minute drive down the road. But yeah, it's all right. It's nice and quiet out here, and this will be where I'll be transmitting from now on, I reckon.
Oh, congratulations. Okay, so you're christening the new QTH. Very glad to hear it. And you're getting in extremely well. I mean, the fact that we were getting you at 22 dB, if you're just using a mag mount, God help us when you get the diamond up. So we go from VK3FTZD to I think it's me. And then Terry VK3BMX. Okay. I haven't lined up a photo, but I'll do that now. This is a historic site I visited in Hobart some time ago, and it's the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania's rooms, REAST, in a very historic originally radio telegraph station, the building of which is still there, and that's what we're going to see now. So TX mode A, QAM 64, lead in 12. Okay, VK3AML with an EasyPal pick on the drop of the repeater. Okay, the building was built as the main ship-to-shore radio telegraph station for Hobart in 1913, but its first job, that wooden building, was to maintain contact with Sir Douglas Mawson's Antarctic expedition to Commonwealth Bay, and this station, received the first radio signals out of the Antarctic. Now the Radio and Electronics Society of Southern Tasmania, REAST, up on top of the hill in the Domain, and still has pretty good radio facilities for the amateurs. So Terry, how'd you go? VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Yeah, full decode, 20 dB, full picture, mate. Yeah, very nice. Nice restoration too.
Yeah, it's been a radio transmitting station for the whole time since 1913. Originally Spark, and then they went to valve wireless telegraphy, and then to teleprinters. Then it became the OTC station for ship-to-shore for Hobart, and then finally REAST. VK3FMLD, how did you go, Chris? VK3AML.
ML, VK3FMLD, just need to find the microphone. Yeah, 13 dB, full decode. Have you tried the Scotch, the reproduction of the Scotch that Mawson took down to Antarctica? I believe it's very, very good. VK3AML, VK3FMLD.
I haven't tried it. The oldest drink I ever had was when they dug up a bottle of rum, or a few bottles of rum actually, from the wreck of a ship called the Sydney Cove, which went down in the Furneaux Group in 1798. And they dared me to taste a drop of it. If you can imagine rum, but very salty. 200 years worth of salt water had slowly seeped through the cork, unfortunately. VK3BOT and the group VK3AML. Did you get that pick okay?
Yes, I did. 15 dB at VK3BOT, file OK. Nice looking building. Be nice to transmit from there.
Yeah, well, the hams have a repeater there on that tower on the left. There are towers all around it, as you can probably see. There are two in this shot. If I was taking a reverse angle view, you'd see a few more. VK3FTZD, how did you do? VK3AML.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't flick over the PC mic switch, and I didn't receive that one.
Oh, well, these things are set to try us. VK3BMX, did you do okay, Terry?
He certainly did, Chris. 19 dB and 100%. Yep.
Okay, well, it's your turn, Terry, I think. Yes, it's your turn, Terry. VK3AML, VK3BMX, VK3AML.
Okie doke, standing by. Here we go.
Okay, multiple announcement. Nice statue. Looks like it might be made of wood. I'm not sure. And you certainly have that compressed a lot. Let me see. You're transmitting in mode B, 2.4. Yeah. If you hover your cursor over QAM, click on the letters QAM to the left of that thermometer, you'll find you can bring up, rather than 16 subcarriers, 64. That'll decrease your time. And then you can push the little pointer in the transmit box to the right a bit and get slightly clearer image. But I got that okay. Let's take it round the traps. VK3FTJS, how did you do, Terry?
Yeah, 12 dB, full decode. Yeah, a little bit on the blurry side, but that's fine. Just trying to work out who it is. I've seen this before, I think.
We'll find out eventually from Terry. VK3FMLD, Chris, how did you go?
9 dB, full decode. 5 dB, full decode.
Gosh, you're getting those decodes through clearly on very, very low sig to noise. It's amazing. VK3BOT, how'd you do?
Well, I think I'll put my dunce's hat on. So I wasn't happy with the image that I was playing with, and I cleared everything, including this one. Wasn't that clever? VK3BOT said that.
Oh, well, back to the old drawing board. VK3FTZD, how did you go, VK3AML?
Yeah, VK3FTZD, VK3AML. Oh, sorry, VK3AML, VK3FTZD returning. I'm getting tired. 14 dB on that one and full decode.
No worries. Would you like to give us just a talk on what the background to that shot is, Terry? VK3BMX, VK3AML.
Yep, no worries, yeah, just random picture. That's from Lake Eildon, just outside the shops out there. Apparently that's, that was taken years ago when I used to be out in the road doing deliveries. I was having a coffee and a cake down there, and that's some famous, or I don't know about famous, but one local fisherman that was down there that used to do a lot of trout and rainbow trout fishing out of the lake down there. So yeah, Lake Eildon, and one of the well-known fishermen down there, apparently, many years ago.
I think I know that shopping centre. Is that the shopping centre where the king parrots come down to be fed?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, they try to pinch me cake, yep.
Yeah, there are some very fat king parrots there.
Yes, very well fed, weren't they? Yeah, they certainly know when you come out with a cake or something there, they all hover around on the grass in front of you waiting for their tidbits.
Yeah, I know that spot very well. I think first holiday I can ever remember must have been about 1958. My parents took me up there, and the Eildon Reservoir had just been built up a bit. It had been around for a long time, but they just added an extra height to it or something. And I recently saw it again for the first time in over 60 years. Gosh. And the main thing is that the township shopping centre had improved greatly. That's where you took that V-shaped group of shops. Anyway, we're round back to the start of the group again. Terry, VK3FTZD, it's yours. VK3AML.
And just a quick one, BMX, I'm going to clear, gentlemen. I've got to get up early for work in the morning, but thanks for letting me in, and hopefully I'll be here again.
Nice to have you, Terry. I hope that instruction manual sent via the doc file also it helps. Hope to see you next Thursday. VK3BMX, VK3AML, or if not before.
Yeah, thanks for that, Chris, and thanks everybody for putting up with me, and enjoy. I have been listening for the last 3 or 4 weeks, decoding pictures, so I've had no problems decoding with this radio straight out of the box, but to get it to transmit was a different story. But thank you, good night. This is VK3BMX clear. Good night.
All the best. Terry, the floor is yours. VK3FTZD, VK3AML. So much for bogus products. VK3FMLD, how did you go? I got that at 16 dB. Over to you, Chris. VK3FMLD, VK3AML.
VK3FMLD. Does it come in any other sense? Yes, full decode 12 dB. Very nice signal.
Yeah, good stuff. VK3BOT, any luck there? VK3AML.
I'll bet he calls it swear antenna spray. Yeah, 12 dB over here. You ought to see the bar at the bottom, the progress bar, there is almost as much red as what there is green. I've never seen so many dropouts on one signal. But to the credit of the program and the way that he's got it set up, I got a full decode. It is absolutely brilliant, and the picture's good too. Yeah, I wonder if he did call it a swear. Yeah, antenna spray. Should have called it swear spray, shouldn't he?
Something like that. Gullibility testing spray. VK3FTZD, how did you do? VK3AML.
Yeah, VK3AML, VK3FTZD, full decode on that, 16 dB over here. And yes, good old SWR spray. Oh dear, oh dear. It is what it is. Back to you there, Chris.
Well, if you want to have the ideal antenna, you get a 52 ohm carbon resistor. Gives you perfect SWR, unfortunately doesn't radiate. VK3BMX is gone, so I guess it's yours, Chris, VK3FMLD, VK3AML.
AML, VK3FMLD, yes, swear or swar. I was actually listening to a couple of the local guys up here, a couple of guys from Mirrabah yesterday talking about a swear on amateur radio bands, and I thought you two guys need a good talking to about your language. All right, this one will keep you all chuckling again, I think. I hope. I don't know where I got this picture from, but I thought it was pretty good. Here it comes. Transmit of mode 8 at times, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes with that rather than mode B as I was using before.
Oh, Christ. That I like. I'd love to know where the bridge is. How'd you go, Terry? I got that at 17 dB, so you're doing pretty well with that little radio, Chris. VK3FTJS, how'd you do, VK3AML?
Yeah, 9 dB, Chris, and yeah, interesting. I like that, yeah.
And VK3BOT, VK3AML, how'd you do?
Well, I didn't get the image, but I'll get it later. 7 dB down here, and too many dropouts. And I've got 10 missing segments. So on that size file, that's just not enough. It couldn't recover from that one. But it doesn't matter because we'll get it later. Yeah. There we are. VK3AML, VK3BOT. Oh, and I can't see in the BSR either because there's no BSR to send.
No, but I can do this. Did that fix it?
Nah, didn't do anything at all. VK3AML at the top, 7 dB. Still got my diddly squat little line down the bottom with 10 missing segments, and we can't send a BSR because there isn't one to send. So we'll leave it and move on.
Well, that was the replay RX button. It doesn't look like it works terribly well, Chris. VK3FMLD. What happened when I hit the RX button for you, VK3? Did the earth move for you too? VK3FMLD, VK3AML.
Up the wrong button. No, I didn't get a lock on the on your signal when you reset it.
No, I seem to remember that there's some funny thing happens when you just do replay RX. It doesn't seem to work properly, not on my machine anyway. So I tried, but I do like that. So VK3FTZD, did you do any good with the original transmission, VK3AML?
Yeah, I got that at 16 dB, on par with pretty much everyone else there.
I would like to see the bridge. And how they missed that is anybody's guess. Stan, VK3BOT, I think you're up.
Very good. At the drop of the repeater, I'll send another picture. Not quite where I thought I was going to be, but never mind, not to worry, we'll send a picture anyway. VK3BOT said that.
I got 101 over 105. There was a little sort of a gap right towards the end, but I can still see quite clearly it's a bridge. Looks like Dandenong Creek. I wouldn't be sure. But I got that at 21 dB, so there's nothing wrong with the sig to noise. VK3FTJS, how did you go with that? Did you get that hiccup right at the end? VK3FTJS, VK3AML.
Certainly did, Chris. I'm missing 4 bits. Got a decode on it, but and yeah, it's 19 dB. So yeah, it's come through, but yeah, it was just that tiny little bit at the end. It's probably not even. Yeah, it's only 4 bits.
Hardly worth it, just a little bit of a spotty square at the bottom left. VK3FMLD, how did you do, VK3AML?
AML, VK3FMLD. Yeah, like the rest of you, just that spotty square in the left-hand corner. 5 remaining segments, apart from that decoded well, and 17 dB, so that is my top signal for the night, definitely.
Yeah, top signal to noise. Just there was that hiccup towards the end, like there was a buffer underrun or something. Did you notice that, Tim, VK3FTZD, VK3AML?
Yeah, I did get the same sort of thing. Right towards the end there, it just stopped and then continued going. 19 dB on this end though, and 4 segments missing, but it's still decoded 99%.
Yeah, I think we all agree. Stan, VK3BOT, any explanation, not of the gap? Occasionally that computer of yours has a hiccup, and I think that was one of them, but it hasn't affected the picture quality at all. Do we have an explanation? And that will be our final picture for the night, I think. It's just on 11 o'clock. So over to you for an explanation, Stan. VK3BOT, VK3AML.
Well, that's actually an energy That's the Nudesy Bridge that goes out towards Taronga Falls and stuff like that. And that's the creek that goes through and around about the town and out the other side. That's interesting because I think that's the first one that I've sent in mode B for the evening. Everything else has been in mode A, I think. Also, I increased the time to 60 seconds. So it would appear that if I keep the time down, the pictures go through fine. If I increase the time, they don't. And the problem with decreasing the time is that you get that smudging, what do you call it, the compression that you can see stuff. And the bit in the bottom left-hand corner, you didn't mess, mate, so that's my call sign. So who cares about that? We're not, we're not worried about that. But yeah, that's what it is. Now, somebody was talking about Lake Eildon. The last time I saw Lake Eildon, it was almost empty. So there you are. That's how much it had changed. VK3AML, VK3BOT.
Yeah, we visit a friend at Swanpool, so we go through Bonnie Doon from time to time, and sometimes the lake is there and sometimes it's 30 kilometres away. It's just incredible how it oscillates up and down. Anyway, we've come to the end, 11:01 p.m. Thank you very much all for participating. We had 6 stations active, and very much Tim's credit that he got a new radio going under the circumstances of having had his previous one run over this afternoon. So well done, Tim. And christening a new QDH, which is great. And obviously the QDH is well suited to this repeater, so looks like the EasyPal will be no problem for you from there. Probably even less problem than it was from Hoppers. So, Terry, FTJS, 3FMLD, Chris, Stan, VK3BOT, Tim, VK3FTZD, and the departed Terry 3BMX. Thank you all for coming along. I'll hand it round the group for comments, final comments. Terry, VK3FTJS, I think we've had an unprecedented number of images tonight. Not so much talk, but a lot of images, so certainly the recording will be of interest to people on the YouTube download. VK3FTJS, VK3AML.
VK3AML, VK3FTJS in the group. Yeah, very good. Very good. We've got plenty of pictures away, not too many technical difficulties. Everybody seemed to go. Stan had a good signal. Yeah, good to see that it's all come up for you, Stan. Yeah, and good on you, Tim, for getting everything up and running. Well done. And yeah, bit unfortunate about your accident, mate, and everything, but you'll be right. Soldier on, son. Soldier on.
No worries. Chris, 3FMLD. Final comment?
AML, VK3FMLD. Yeah, thanks for running that tonight, Chris. A good session, a very interesting session, some great pictures. Some not so good resolutions for me, but I'll pick that up off the online recording of the session whenever it appears. And good to see Tim manage to get himself up and running. And Stan, what a great signal that is now. Very, very good. VK3AML, the VK3FMLD, wishing everyone a very good evening.
Likewise, Chris, and you seem to have got all the wrinkles out of your little rig there too. Incredible little rig. It's only the size of about 5 matchboxes stuck side by side and one on top of the other. Stan, VK3BOT, final comment?
No, it's been a very, very good evening. No doubt about that. Yeah, and lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures, and some issues resolved, and full credit to Tim from an accident to transmitting, and shows the spirit of ham radio, where you keep going no matter what. Thank you for having me at your house. Thank you for being at mine. See you all next week. VK3 Bravo Oscar Tango said that. Good evening. I'm going to bed. Back to you, Chris.
All the best, Stan. VK3FTZD, final comments, VK3AML.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I don't have a great amount to add, other than thank you very much for running the net tonight, Chris. Yeah, everything's been in all over the place at the moment with this setup, but got a radio up and running and been able to transmit, which was excellent, using the work laptop at the moment. So of course I don't have the main computer set up or anything, or even one of the dodgy computers, the older computers here that I've been able to transmit off before. But successful still. And thanks everyone for all your support and everything, and thank you everyone for transmitting images for the evening. This is VK3FTZD handing it back to Net Control.
No worries. Just as a matter of interest, last week's recording of the net was prejudiced because I inadvertently let the standalone digital recorder revert to 44.1 kilohertz sampling, and for a YouTube clip the sampling has to be 48 kilohertz stereo. I won't go into the technology, but what that meant was I had to get the log and convert it from 44.1 to 48 kilohertz, and it doesn't mathematically do it very well. So if you were replaying off the recording, you were probably getting about 4 or 5 dB less than I was getting direct. This time I've recorded in 48 kilohertz sampling native at 32-bit, so I shouldn't be losing any quality at all on the YouTube clip when it comes out tomorrow, or if I get time to edit it all in time. It takes about an hour or so to... what I do is I record myself on one channel and my pictures on one channel, and everybody else coming off the radio goes into the other channel, and I have to mix the two, and that takes a bit of fiddling. But apart from that, it's fairly straightforward. You just slap a title over the top in the video editor, make it render in 1080p, and then put the thing up on YouTube. So that'll happen tomorrow. Anyway, you've been listening to the EasyPal Digital Slow Scan Net. We meet every Thursday night on this repeater, VK3RML, with the sanction of the repeater owner, who is Amateur Radio Victoria, and hope to see everybody next Thursday at 9 PM local for the usual 2-hour get-together. This is VK3AML on behalf of the EasyPal group, now returning this repeater to normal operation. Normal operation, whatever that might mean. VK3AML, now clear, just listening.
Thanks again, Chris.
No worries, Terry, all the best.
73s.
Thanks, Chris. Excellent net tonight. 73s, everyone. This is VK3FTZD going QRT and getting out of this cold garage.
Congratulations on the new QDH. You get into the warm and give your lady a hug. All the best, Terry. No doubt we'll hear you more from there now. VK3AML clear. Sorry, I meant Tim.
It's all good there, Chris. And I got a mate who might be interested in EasyPal. He doesn't have a licence yet and whatnot, but occasionally he does have a bit of a listen to the recordings. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I haven't spoken to him in a few years, but he's been on my Facebook, and spoke to him the other day because a video recently popped up from my early 20s of us driving around and whatnot. Someone found a mini DV tape inside a video recorder, and at a garage sale, or when they bought one at a garage sale, and managed to track me down because I was quite prominent on the video, and so I spoke to my mate and going, who do we know that had a video camera around that time? And yeah, spoke a bit about radio and stuff like that, and apparently he listens in occasionally on the recordings, so that's good. Great work on those recordings there, Chris.
Yeah, well, hopefully this week's will be a little bit better again. I purposely pushed the group around a bit to get a few more images up, because one of the comments I got from the listeners, there are people that listen and just don't participate for whatever reason. Either they're feeling a bit tired or they just like to practice with their computers or whatever, that we should be putting up more pictures and less talk. So I pushed it around a little bit tonight to try and achieve that. So hopefully, you can't keep everybody happy all the time, but you try to get some of the people some of the time. VK3FTZD, and don't let me keep you out in the cold any longer. VK3AML.
Yeah, no worries. It seemed to run pretty smooth and all that. I did manage to also clean all the stuff out of the car, ready to be towed tomorrow. So I was able to do multiple things. So very nice, very nice. All right, I'll talk to you later on there, Chris. VK3AML, VK3FTZD going QRT and getting out of the cold.
Cheers, Tim. I'll stop the recorder now.
Out of the cold.